much fun watching this show. It's definitely, I have been missing them, as I'm sure you've been anxious to get the show back out as well. So what did you most enjoy when it came to the shenanigans that she gets up to this season? What are you most excited about fans getting to see with these new episodes?
Well, thank you, first of all, for those lovely words. I'm really excited personally for people who like season 1 to see all of the Dollface girls going into the magical realism element of the show. So in season 1, the cat lady and that kind of whole thing is a way for Jules to kind of act out her anxieties and her worst case scenarios. Whereas this season, all the girls come into this. So it becomes cathartic, not just for Jules, but like Izzy and Stella and Madison. So it's really exciting. I'm excited for people to see that.
When you started talking to the cat lady, did you have any idea what that would develop into and how important of a role it would play? And were you ever worried that it wouldn't work?
You know what? I'm so lucky that I get to work with Beth Grant, the absolute genius icon that she is. And she was the only person. I mean, I will take credit for this because I said we need to get Beth Grant from the very beginning before anyone was cast. It was just find a way to get Beth Grant because she's the only person who can do this. So somehow she agreed and we have her. So with Beth, it's so real. If you can believe that a huge cathead person can be real, she throws herself into all of her roles and she just takes you there with her in these scenes. So I knew that we had something very special happening and that she would evolve. And the writers are always trying to give her lots of things to do. So that's just incredible for me.
You have some fun moments this season. 2 moments in particular that stood out for me were the music festival and the dance class. With the dance class, was there ever a moment where you considered trying to do the performance of the dance routine yourself, or were you always just like, no, I'm not going to do it?
Interestingly, Jules was scripted to do the dance. And what happened was I was filming other scenes while all the other girls got to do dance rehearsal. So real Jules, me, Kat, I had to have a moment with our showrunner, Michelle Nader, and just be like, I cannot do this dance. So either you're going to have to cut away from me or you just have to write that Jules is really bad at this dance. And she was like, you know what? I think we can find a really funny way to do this. And it ended up being one of my favorite moments of the entire season. Jules, spoiler alert, Jules gives the dance instructor a doctor's note to get out of dancing. So it's a very relatable moment. I think it's more Jules than doing the dance. And I think that's what I would do too.
How was it to shoot the whole music festival? What was it like to pull all of that off and make it seem like such a big moment, kind of done in a more intimate way so that everybody, I would imagine, stayed safe doing it?
Exactly. So that was a real feat for our amazing DP and the crew and all of that. So they, not to give away the Hollywood magic, but as you said, you know, it's about staying safe. So we had our safe group of background performers and they would like maybe change clothes and come back or like walk through a few times. So they made it look really packed and busy while only using our safe extras. So it was really amazing. They did such a great job. Everybody was all about, you know, safety, the cast, background performers, the crew. So it was a group effort, but I think it paid off really well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing and it's so much fun. And I thought it was a really kind of genius way to pull all of that off.
Thank you.
I absolutely love the friendship between these characters. The dynamic between these 4 is so fun to watch. What have you enjoyed about finding it as characters, but also just as co-stars working with these other actresses?
Well, I love them all so much. And we really have the real friendship going on. And I think that's part of the magic of the show is seeing 4 real friends interacting because you really can't fake that kind of chemistry, you know? So obviously season 1, we got to know each other really well and we all missed each other so much because obviously something happened in between season 1 and season 2 and we didn't get to see each other at all. So this was just, you know, so amazing to finally see them all again. And it was just a really special kind of bonding experience. Brenda describes it as like summer camp, you know, and it kind of was like that. We see each other for 15 hours a day. And and we're in little pods together. And I mean, Brenda and I text each other from the same room, so we're all very close.
Were there conversations about how to handle the pandemic in the show and whether to address it at all? How do you feel about the way that it actually gets incorporated and then we move on from it?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, like I think some shows may have chosen to just not do it at all. But that didn't feel authentic. So our showrunner, Michelle Nader, who is a brilliant genius, who I love more than anything, she kind of took the helm on, okay, how do we do this? We actually had a different opening in season 1, and she changed it close to the season wrap to make it what it was. Let's see all the girls during the pandemic and what was that like, and were they together in a pod, and what were they doing? So I think it was really important to show that like Jules and Madison and the girls got to be together during all that. So their friendship got even more strong. And of course the comedy of like Jules spraying her mail and stuff like that, which I did do. So whatever. Yeah, so it's dealt with a light hand, but we did not want to ignore it. And Dollface in its own way is sort of a fantasy. So the pandemic like going away, of course, is not realistic, but for the show, it seemed, like the right path.
How involved are you as a producer on the show? Are there aspects where you're really involved and give a lot of input? Are there things that you found that you enjoy that you didn't know you would enjoy before doing it?
Yeah, season 1 especially, I was extremely, extremely hands-on and involved, just because this was my first like big thing since my last show I was on. So I wanted to really make sure that this was going to be great, and my first big executive producing thing that I was doing. So I wanted to do the best job that I could, mainly like finding the best actors for the roles, which of course everybody was involved in, but I'm so proud of being able to do that, because as an actor, like casting is terrifying. So I'm really proud of how everybody came together. And season 2, I still am very involved, but because Michelle Nader is there as our showrunner, somebody that I have worked with for like since Two Broke Girls, since the beginning of it, so like 11 years, I trust her completely, and she's like another arm, so I could kind of calm down and relax a little bit this season.
What is it like to establish that collaboration between showrunner and the writers and the directors? How is it to find a voice among all of that?
It's really, really important. A showrunner is the most important element of a show sometimes. Like that's the person who's the go-between all the departments. So that's a hard job, and Michelle is just unbelievable. I mean, she and I have a like secret language shorthand already, so I don't even have to worry about that. But, she'll just text me and be like, okay, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? I'll be like, okay, great. And then it's done. So she has like tentacles like going into every single aspect of the show, and I completely trust her. It's a very rare relationship. Yeah. It's very lucky. I don't know. It's almost like a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon relationship, except on a way like different scale. She's the Ben Affleck. No, wait, she's the Matt Damon. I don't know. We switch off.
Well, even though Jules isn't 100% sure of what she does want, by the end of this season, do you feel like she's at least more centered and more sure about what she doesn't want?
Yes, that's a really good way of looking at it. Season 1, she kind of is just things are being like hurled at her, and she's just kind of like trying to get through it, so she's done all that work, and I think she's more ready to let things in season 2, but so much is happening to her that's good that she kind of doesn't know what to do again. So even though she's made all this progress, she can't fully work through it. So in a way, she has definitely grown, and she's more competent, especially at work, and more confident in herself, but she has a long way to go.
Have you already started to have conversations about where she could go for season 3? Do you try not to think that far ahead?
I'm superstitious, so I always assume like one and done for everything. I don't think I decorated my dressing room at Two Broke Girls till like season 5. I always assumed like I just had to have my bag packed. So yeah, I don't really think about it, but of course that'd be incredible. And there are all sorts of dream scenarios I'd love to see.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me about it. The show is so fun. It's just delightfully entertaining. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.